Warning! Rachel's the Eighth Witch.
7.
Yeah. Got it wrong.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 7, the final season. Episode 10! The Eighth Witch. I'm your host, Dom.
Don't
Joining
make
me...
cry before it's over. God damn it.
Joining me is Jake, Nikki, and Rachel.
Don't worry. Either Netflix or Hulu will pick it up.
No, that's not true.
They're going to reboot it.
Nope, not true.
They could.
They could.
All the reboots that are happening now. I'm still waiting for this Family Matters and Scooby-Doo reboot.
No, but like, so we didn't cover this before the mid-season break. We're doing it now just before before it comes back. But we kind of knew going in, like we said at the start of this season, that if this season was going to end, we would find out during the mid-season break. And that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
They did announce that this is the final season for the show. I'm kind of upset. Like, if you told me this last season, I would have been like, you know what? It's been a good run. Let's end it. But now, coming in to season 7, and they changed the game up, and everything they've been doing this season has been so fantastic.
Refreshing.
Yeah, that I'm actually kind of upset. You know?
Yeah, because it's like they shook everything up to make it better, and then they're tossing it away.
Yeah.
It's
It doesn't make
ABC.
any sense.
It's still a good run, you know.
Oh, for sure.
We love the show. But, you know, it is disappointing when, you know, for so long we've been complaining that the show has been getting a little stale. And when this happens, right when the show is like, you know, getting its footing again, you know, what we've been asking for so long to get that season 1 feel again, we finally have it, and it's going away. Yeah. And that's what's disappointing about this. Not necessarily that the show is ending. Of course, you know, we're all sad about that. But
at the same
it's just that it's ending
point,
this way.
At the same point, though, at least it gets to end on a high note. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
you know, we haven't seen, you know, the last of these episodes.
Right.
You know, I'm still, because, you know, sometimes shows end and it's very dissatisfying. Or sometimes they just don't have an ending at all. Like Angel. Y'all remember Angel? Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they did, like, you can arguably say they did it for Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the same feeling as Angel, but yeah, like, I almost would, because I was joking when I said, oh, Netflix or Hulu will pick it up. But at the same time, I'm kind of hoping that something happens with Once Upon a Time.
Can you imagine if Netflix picked them up, what kind of the quality and everything they could do?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the license to so many of the characters and stuff like that are owned by Disney. That it would be
Disney...
really hard because you have to go through the licensing process and, you know, all that. I know some of the characters are generic. You know, it's just like, oh, Cinderella is just like a generic character that's not really.
That's true.
But there's a lot of Disney characters specifically tied to this as well.
And we do know that Disney is coming out with their own streaming service, so it is possible for them to do it too.
Yeah,
I mean, Once Upon a Time is with ABC. It's
and ABC is a Disney company.
It is, but it doesn't get that. It's not gonna. ABC itself doesn't get that oomph. That say like it almost seems like Netflix and Hulu.
They've cross-promoted though, because they've had commercials for Regina walking around Disney World, like playing the part of the Wicked Witch. You know, like they've done commercials and stuff for it. So.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if this show were to get picked up again, they could definitely do it just because of the nature of the show. That it's a fairy tale show, and we've seen it this season. You could, you know, pick it up at any random point and tell new stories. And with this new streaming service that Disney is doing, you know, they're going to need to fill it up with stuff. Like they're already coming out with what they've announced for the streaming service. They're coming out with 3 original movies, a live-action Lady and the Tramp remake, 2 live action Marvel series, and a live action Star Wars series. So like they could do whatever the fuck.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were doing all of that.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, on top of
I might be paying for another streaming service.
On top of the Vault and all the Marvel and Star Wars and Pixar and all those kind of movies, getting thrown in there as well. And now that they own Hulu and Fox as well. They own, I think,
we
a
can
small
get the
fraction of
X-Men
Hulu.
in Once Upon a Time, you guys. You heard it here first.
We have the X-Men, all this stuff could join that streaming service, but
As well as
I
Bob's
don't
Burgers
see
and
them
the
picking this up right away. It would be, maybe a
Oh,
couple years down the line. It's just like, oh, let's revisit that idea. But this
That would
episode,
be the best time to do it.
yeah, this episode in particular, I think, is really when like the reveals and stuff. This episode is really what shook things up for me. It was like, oh my god, this just got fantastic out of nowhere. This puts everything into perspective, and it really sets the tone moving forward now, and has me really excited for the second half of this season. Because in the past of this episode, we're dealing with how Drizella wants to cast that modified dark curse that she's been talking about, and she goes to taunt our heroes, and saying that 8 years she's going to cast the curse, and they trap her with blood magic with the help of Rapunzel, a.k.a. Lady Tremaine. So it's like, okay, well, I'm thinking to myself this whole time now, it's like, how did she go from being a hero to a villain? Like, where did this transition happen? Like, that was still like a question, like a big question I have. And then, it's revealed at the end of the episode that that Drizella wants to cast this curse and make Lady Tremaine think that she cast the curse, and that she's actually the villain, and she did all of this for Anastasia, and that's what she's gonna have her believe, when in fact it was Drizella. And that, honestly, it caught me by surprise, and I really enjoyed that. I think that was a fantastic little twist.
It caught a lot of people by surprise, and it was amazing writing, and this whole season has been really good.
Yeah.
And catching a lot of people from surprise, off guard, really, and by surprise. And I've even heard people that haven't been watching it that haven't watched it for 2-3 seasons. And then they saw this season, and they watched the first couple episodes, and they went back and binge watch the other seasons to get caught up and watch the season, and then they go and do this. But I've heard a lot of people coming back for this season.
Yeah.
So this rating and everything has been amazing, and a lot of twists and turns, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's how it should have been.
And I like how this show is able to take minor Disney characters that maybe hardcore Disney fans remember, but maybe the casual fan will not be so familiar with. Drizella was never a main player in the Disney canon.
No.
Neither was Lady Tremaine.
Yeah, well, but
she was more so than the stepsisters, but not quite as much.
But people knew Lady Tremaine more so. They associate her more with Disney villains than they ever do with Drizella.
Or Anastasia, for that matter. But
I would argue Anastasia is more well known than Drizella.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so
Anastasia?
picking Drizella out and making her a villain was a very smart move on their part. Yeah. Totally out of left field. And not something you think it's not in your mind. It wasn't in your mind to think that she would be the one.
Yeah. And then tying in this whole this how when Mother Gothel showed up at Lucy's 8th birthday and came in and broke the spell that had Drizella trapped stone like Medusa thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, that's blood magic. How did you break that? And she's like, well, I have a very powerful family, the Dark Coven, the Coven of 8. It's like, who the hell is this coven now? It's made of 8 really strong witches, and we don't know. And then we see at the very, very end of the episode that in the present day that she has all the cloaks. They're with her, and we don't know who these witches are. They could be walking around amongst the town. We could have met every single one of them already.
We could have met all of them already. We have Ursula, Sea Witch. We have Maleficent. She's a dragon witch. We have these existing characters. I'm quite sure that some of these characters will never well, the actresses will never be in Once Upon a Time Again because, well, last season. But I mean, there are all those existing witches in the past. Like even Zelina said this episode, they tried to recruit her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible we've met all these characters before. But then,
yeah,
I don't know. I would like it if maybe if there was one or two that we knew, but I would like it if there was totally different witches we didn't think about.
like Madame Mim.
Madam Mim.
oh,
Where the fuck
please.
was she? In the season she was supposed to be in?
Yeah.
But I'd like to see it, but they would have to be. I don't know. To me, Madame Mim's more comical witch than
Well, so were other
To
characters
be
that have been
fair,
in the show.
they don't all have to be female
Well,
either.
I'm going
No.
to tell you right now, I know one of them. And it
Okay.
is somebody that you wouldn't expect. And Jake, as soon as I say the name, is going to realize who it is. It's Madame Leota. Madame Leota?
Oh my god!
Yeah. So, Madame Leota, if you've ever been to Disney and you've read in the Haunted Mansion, she's the head in the orb.
Oh,
Inside.
yeah.
You're so happy.
You know, so I know for a fact she's one of them. So I love that they're bringing in some Haunted Mansion lore here. It's taken forever for them to do it, but yeah, she's gonna be one of the witches of 8. She's part.
I have
of
a
the
costume for next week. Oh my god.
But yeah, so I'm curious. I would like to see them branch out and have who are these different witches. I mean, is Mother Gotha considered one of the 8?
I would assume since she's
Yes.
kind of keeping the cloaks in her personal possession.
Yeah. So does that mean that she's trying to recruit her? She's supposed to be one of the 8?
I mean, the only
I-
reason why she's with Anastasia right now is because she's the only one who could use magic in this world.
Well, Drizella was part of it,
Mhm.
and
Not anymore.
no,
but yeah.
she was part of the 8, so we're counting her. We have to count Gothel and Madame Leota. Those are the 3 that we know of. We haven't seen Madame Leota yet, but I know for a fact she is one. So
Okay.
we haven't seen those 3 yet, and now take Drizella out, but replace her with Anastasia. So we still have our 3.
Mhm.
So
So
we
there's
still have
more.
five that we don't know. So Jake is just all sorts of happy over there. Like
He's
there's
freaking out.
no changing that.
But yeah, so I'm very curious to who they're going to bring in. I mean, there's a lot of different villains and witches in the Disney universe and in fairy tale universe. So it could be anyone.
Mary Poppins is one of them. She's coming. Mary
Mary
Poppins.
Poppins is the Time Lord.
What's
so shush.
interesting about Madame Leota is she's gonna be the first character, I believe, that was adapted from a Disney attraction rather than a pre-written story. So
Well,
Okay.
Madame Leota never had a backstory, not in the theme parks anyway. There's
Not in
there's like
theme park, but the book. There was a book
there's
and a record and stuff.
I mean, there's so many and there's so many like spin-off like Haunted Mansion comic books that they've done as well. But like
Not like fanfic. It's just there's a whole bunch of different theories.
I mean, I
Stories.
kind of want to include Dr. Facilier in this magical 8.
It's a coven of witches, so it's all female.
I
No,
guess.
there can be male witches.
They're
No.
warlocks.
No,
No,
they said
no.
they said
well,
they said at the end of this episode something about we have to find the rest of the women.
Did you just assume something about Dr. Facilier? Did
Yes,
you?
I did.
Okay.
he is a man.
Okay. It's just, I mean, I feel like that kind of twist should have happened, but
it
whatever.
could, and I feel like it should in this season, but
Mhm.
But I don't see. I see them. I mean, getting together 8 strong witches, women, is pretty powerful in itself.
But to be
Yes.
fair, we haven't really had very strong male. We've had like maybe 1 or 2 throughout Once Upon
Go
a
to a
Time
different
lifetime.
show if you want that.
Well, I mean, you gotta twist it up. I mean, we had Jafar in Wonderland, but we had, the Red Queen. We had Anastasia kind of like in the background. She was also doing that, and then, but like, if you look at every season, there's always been a strong woman villain.
Hmm.
God, we even had a season where there was 4. Like,
Yeah.
So
One of them was Emma, but not really.
yeah. So
But Dr. Facilier, bring him in and make him good, but I think it's a bit too late for that. I don't think we're getting him in this show. You know who I would like to see in this, Coven of Witches? I would like to see Mary Poppins. They're not going to do that. I would like to. This is digging way into the Disney canon. They're not doing this either, but I would like to see Mrs. Price. For those of you who don't know, Mrs. Price, Angela Lansbury, played by Angela Lansbury, in this wonderful Disney film, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I love that movie. It's my favorite Disney movie.
I don't see her being evil, though. I don't see her being
be
evil
fair,
enough
though,
to be one of the 8.
What about bringing in the 3 witches from that Halloween movie?
Halloween movie.
The Disney
Hocus
reboot.
Pocus?
Sanderson
Hocus Pocus.
sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just redo them because like Disney has like the prequel rights or whatever, so they kind of own the rights to those characters right now.
Well, they're Disney characters.
Yeah. So,
And they're remaking that movie, which I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel about that. But
so
yeah, bring
there's
them
3 more witches that you could add to the mix right there.
there's so much speculation.
So
There really, really is.
I mean, they could bring back
I can sit here and
Freezy
I can't-
Fuzzy.
I mean, there's so many different villains. You can have to look through all the Disney and be like, oh, okay. And then you'd be seeing, oh my god, I totally forgot about that Disney movie and that villain.
yeah,
That-
well, I
There's
think
just so
I
many.
think what they have to do at this point, I mean, they could go in a completely different route. Is bring those 3 witches in from Hocus Pocus, bring in Madame Mim.
that witch from Brave with the square butt,
Yeah, and that's the 5 right there.
Square.
or Elsa. Where has she been?
We're never
She's
gonna
with
see
her
her again.
sister.
Yeah, I doubt we'll get them back.
No.
We do know some of the original cast from all the other seasons is coming back, so I'm guessing Charmings and
I did post a article in the Discord
Okay,
about that.
Yeah.
so
You guys can go there and look.
Perfect. I also liked how when they were doing the flashbacks with Robin and how Regina went to go talk to Zelina in the past and all that.
I absolutely love Robin.
Yeah, she's
We haven't
fantastic.
seen her yet, but I absolutely love her.
And I love that she's 25 years old and then she goes to make a comment. What are you, 23, 25? Like, you've gotten so old and something, and they go, yeah, well, we're not here to talk about timelines. So they already addressing the fact that some crazy thing happened to age her so much, but they're not going to talk about it.
We know that in the Enchanted Forest seems to go faster than our time.
it seems like that. Or
Yeah, it seems like in the Enchanted Forest time is faster than our time.
They could have traveled to realms and different things
Yeah.
in
Well, I'm
time.
saying, but that's
we know
what
Henry did a lot of hopping around.
Yeah.
It's possible Robin did too.
Yeah. So, I just really love that. I like seeing Robin being Archer, like her father, and do the warning shots. Everything just like her father. Big throwback to Robin, and I thought that was fantastic.
I just love that Regina turns around. She goes, "You're getting better," and she's like, "Aunt Regina, I thought you were just." It's just hilarious. And then her mom scolds her. She goes, "I hope those are warning shots."
Yeah.
Totally different take. And then seeing Regina and Zelina embrace and actually become the sisters that they wanted to be in the first place.
Yeah.
And can we talk about
Really
Zelina and how awesome she is?
How she's a aerobics instructor.
She's a spin teacher.
Yeah, spin teacher.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're spinning
or as she said, a
flying
hippie
into
peddler.
A hippie peddler.
I'd rather have that cucumber lime lavender water. I was like, okay, can you say that anymore? And then she says it again. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, but Regina had to break the curse by pouring her a glass of Lost's McCutcheon Scotch whiskey.
But it was dosed with the magic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But yeah, I love it. And I do love how Zelina is like, I built a life here. It's not, it wasn't my life, but it is. And she, trying, what everyone else is thinking. It's like, you have these two parts of you. You have your cursed part. She has Kelly, who fell in love with this guy and is getting married, who has this whole life. And then now she's Zelina, but at the same time, she's still this other.
She's still
Her part of
It's
it.
Kelly is a
season
part of
one
her.
Yes.
all over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, she's never had. It's interesting because Zelina never had a cursed
Yeah.
No.
Well,
And-
all of the characters that we dealt with that came over never had an alternate version of themselves, Rumple included. Rumple was awake through the whole first curse. We thought that Rumple was awake during this curse, but that's not the case. We learned in this episode that Tilly had the teacup, and the teacup it had magically enchanted to get Weaver his memories back. So that's
it wasn't the teacup because he didn't remember it and he threw it on the ground. She shot him in the leg.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was what that's when he gave her the teacup, because if this doesn't wake me up, you know what to do.
Yeah.
So shoots him in the leg.
Yeah. So we learn here that Rumple was not awake the whole time like we originally thought. And and then we had Rogers, aka Wish Realm Hook, who never had an alternate identity. Henry, who never was cursed, never had an alternate identity. Regina, who was never cursed because she was the one that cast it in the first place, never had an alternate identity. I would have loved just one character that had 3 identities and just absolutely was, because we saw kind of that in season 1 with the Mad Hatter and how he was the cursed. He remembered both at the same time, and he was dealing with which got me thinking. I'm like, what is up with these Wonderland characters that are always the ones that are batshit crazy? Because we have Alice, in this one, and
because they're Wonderland characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What does Wonderland have
Wonderland
something to do
drives
with it?
you mad.
So
well, the Cheshire Cat said, we're all mad here.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you put Wonderland characters in any media and any version that you're putting them in, they're always going to be batshit crazy. That's just how. That's just how.
They're going to be a little off the rocker. So yeah.
And I absolutely love that Alice and Robin are an item.
Oh, I do too. I love them together, and I love the father-daughter aspect and relationship between Alice and
Hook.
It seems so natural and it's so pure and true, and it's amazing. You could tell how much she wants to be with her dad and how much she loves her father, and vice versa. And they can't because of the curse of the heart thing, whatever that was called.
Yeah, and then earlier on in this episode, because we saw Hook and Rumple talking, and Hook didn't want to lose his daughter, and Rumple gives him this white elephant that allows him to still be father and daughter, even through the curse, and all that. And then we see in this final act of kindness that Rogers ended up giving that white rabbit to Ella for her and Lucy, to remain together.
She without Ella, pleading her case to him without knowing that he has this. She made a good point. Lucy is 8. She's a little kid. What's going to happen to her? And at the same, Alice is not an adult, but she's 25 years old. She can take care of herself. And I think that's what Hook was thinking. It was like, I can't pull this little 8-year-old away from her mother and told. I can't let her be lost.
Yep.
In this curse.
It's just I imagine the curse going off, and it's before everything rematerializes on the other side. I almost picture the curse caster sitting there like they're playing The Sims, and they're just dropping everybody down, and they're picking their lifestyles and their professions and everything.
Picking out their ambitions and stuff like that.
Putting them in a room with no bathroom.
Because otherwise it's so weird to think that the curse just does all this and the person gets them all exactly where they want them just by thought. I don't know, it's just weird to me. It's because knowing that, that Tremaine wanted the daughter and Drizella cooked all that up, and it's just, it's so weird.
It's a smart curse.
Yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. We also got to see Tiger Lily again this episode.
Mm-hmm. Tiger Lily, where you been, girl?
And she comes in with Geppetto's axe, and they're going to chop down the enchanted tree and make another wardrobe and have this whole thing ready for Lucy. The only problem is we get thrown right into the scene from last season's finale, with Henry running back home and bolting the door. And this time we find out that it's because the witches from the Coven of Eight are coming for Henry. So they don't have enough time to get the tree ready. And he stalls them, buys time, and so Lucy could run and escape. But in doing this, Henry gets captured, and they poison him and tie him up, and they're holding him there. And knowing Regina is going to come trying to stop the curse, they give Regina no choice, and she has to cast the curse.
Yeah. I mean, and they don't, and even when Regina's trying to, take the poison out or whatever, they never even said what they poisoned him with.
No.
We still don't know what they poisoned him with.
Nope.
And will we find out? Probably, but not until probably it's too late.
No, I feel like we're going to find out next episode.
We might. Yes, I hope so.
We're going to use it in another episode.
We very well might, and for all we know, it could be an Agrabah Viper again.
I'm done with those things.
It has to be something that magic can't. Something magic can't touch or something, or maybe her magic can't touch or something, or
It
blood,
probably
or
has
blood
to do
magic
with
can't.
true love again, and we all know that that's a thing.
True love, magical whooshy
Well,
whoosh.
we found out that they. Well,
True love's not breaking this curse.
There's loopholes.
Yeah.
There's loopholes.
But true love can break any curse. That is the loophole.
But it's not breaking this curse because
But it can break any curse. That's what they
Henry
say.
finally believes in Lucy and believes in his own story, and he's really moved, and he's trying to wait because Lucy, she's still in the coma from the Anastasia transfer and all that, and she's slowly dying, and they don't have any explanation at the hospital because it's definitely a magical thing, and Henry tries true love's kiss on Lucy's forehead the same way that Emma did to him back in season 1. And, he's reading that, he's getting all teary-eyed, and then it doesn't work. And Henry's just shattered. He's devastated because he actually, at this moment, 100% believes.
Yeah, but like they said, it takes 2 to believe. And right now,
She doesn't.
little Lucy doesn't believe.
Right.
No. Her belief was ripped away from her.
Yep.
So.
I mean, it's going to be hard to make a comatose person believe again.
Yeah.
So I feel like I feel like it's not Lucy that has to believe, it's Ella.
Mm-hmm.
And then Henry and Ella have to come together for Lucy.
But that's what I was saying, because Drizella wants them so far apart. It's not even funny. She does not want those two together, and she's trying so hard to keep them apart, even injecting herself into Henry's life, trying to woo him over.
And it's gross.
It's gross.
I mean,
Gag me with the spin and everything. But yeah, so, I mean, there's so many different details, and there's so many different ways they could go on with at least 2 more seasons easily, but
no.
I mean, we know this, that, if ABC doesn't really see the numbers they want, then they axe it. So
see, that's what's problem with like mainstream TV like that, like ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Fox as well.
Yeah, Fox.
It's not just that though. Everybody is assuming that it's just always ABC, but it could be a combination of the producers, the directors, the writers, the cast members.
Well, yeah, but I mean, right now, from everything I've read, it's because of the numbers.
Mm.
Until I see one of the writers or producers like, yeah, we decided no. But everything I've seen is because they've talked about their numbers. Their numbers have sank, and really, their numbers sank when they moved them to Friday, which we all knew was going to happen.
Yeah, Friday Death Slot. But I mean, even then, with like DVRs and on demand,
and people not having cable anymore, not having TVs anymore, they're doing it all online and stuff. And that stuff is not. They haven't figured out a way to count that yet. Really?
Yeah.
Properly, yeah.
That's really what happens to a lot of shows, is that they don't take any of that into consideration, whether it be views from the episodes that they post online or DVRs or streaming services, which kind of sucks because the audience is out there, just not the TV audience.
I mean, look at what Netflix with all their original series. They have some of their series have so many viewers because
a lot of people have Netflix.
Yeah, and act, they can see how it is. And that's how people, and TV needs to change.
And
there needs to be change.
It slowly is.
It slowly is, but right now it's just not, the changing of the times is happening faster than the way TV's changing.
It's always going to be that way.
Yeah.
It is, and it's sad. And I mean, so there's no way around it.
You look at the history of any company that ever tried to change with the times, and it doesn't go well. Like, you have any company out there, you look at Blockbuster Video, they were offered to be Netflix, and they said there's no money in internet streaming service. Look what happened.
That's their stupid. That's their stupid.
Blockbuster Video was a huge name for anybody who grew up as a 90s kid. 80s, 90s kids, whatever. They knew, anybody knew Blockbuster Video.
We had Blockbuster and Hollywood Video here.
Yeah. And you don't know what that, like, most people don't know what that is. You mention it to some people and they're like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Like, it's not something people are actively thinking of. But everybody, I think it was not Netflix though, I think it was Redbox originally. They were offered to be Redbox, and then Redbox, the streaming service and stuff like that. And Blockbuster turned it all down.
This just sounds like you're dicking around. You're
it's all real.
But and then you look at companies like Nintendo, who have taken so long to get with the times, and they're not exactly with the times right now, but they're doing their own thing, and they're doing it in a way that appeals to a wider audience, but they're still behind in the times, when you think of it.
Nintendo will always have that nostalgic feel and will always be for kids. And a lot of people still, grew up with Nintendo. They're like, well, Nintendo isn't growing up with me. Well, there's a point. That's the point. Nintendo, it was basically for kids, was for younger, wasn't for the adults. It was something for kids to play. But as an adult, we play it too because nostalgic value.
And because Breath of the Wild is fucking awesome.
Inside me, there is an 8-year-old child in my soul.
But I just mean, you look at any company.
Yeah, but my daughter right now has an NES, a Nintendo 64 up in her room, and the Wii.
Yeah.
In her room.
Yeah. But I just mean, you look at any company, and no one really can stay with the times. The times are constantly changing. And then you have companies like Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat, and every time that they try to change with the times, they get bombarded with, I don't like my timeline. I don't like the new Snapchat feed. I don't like the new design of Twitter. And anytime you change with it, there is a big outlash. So companies have a lot of, hesitation with trying to try new things because people are stuck in their ways.
Well, I also think another thing is that a lot of TV relies on commercial revenue, and commercials and companies are realizing they're not getting as much traffic as they were on TV as they used to. It's more on internet, on social media, on Twitch or whatever, YouTube, and
a lot of that has to do with the budget that the show outputs, and the cast members and the crew and the writers and everything just doesn't meet their profit margin for what it takes to produce the show.
Because when they start losing advertisers, then they have to cut the budgets of the shows.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it happens.
I mean, there are internet companies out there that are trying to double up as a TV service as well. So, I mean, they're taking the right step, but they still haven't really figured out the proper programming to collect the proper data that they need to show, shows like Once Upon a Time, that they still have that number, they still have their audience.
BBC has them on their shows on their website, but it's behind some kind of weird, funky wall.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. No.
So.
I mean, they have to allow accessibility, because that's one thing. Like, a lot of, there's TV networks that are still really protective about their content. And that's where it's you can't really be that protective on the internet. You kind of got to allow people to come watch your shit.
I mean, what is it? ABC is if you are let's say an Xfinity, a cable provider, you have them, then you can get it for free. Well, what if you don't have cable and you want to watch it on their channel? They're missing out on ad revenue because you don't have cable. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could do both, but they're missing out because they're afraid, like Nikki said, they're afraid to give a little.
But getting back to the episode, I think the final thing that we have to mention is Rumpel testing Anastasia to be the Guardian.
She doesn't know how to control. Well, her mom never taught her.
No, she was never really trained, but she could still fit, like, because Rumpel tried the dagger test, you know, and it's like, which one of these has magical properties? And for anybody who actually watched Lost, it kind of reminds me a little bit about when John Locke went back in time and was like, said to a younger version, or no, it was a character named Richard Alpert went back to John Locke and said, when he was a young child, and said, which one of these items belongs to you? You know, like, you go back to your past and like, which one of these did you own? You know, it's like a weird kind of test, and you know, it's,
and I understand it's like but she doesn't. It's so weird. It's like how did they, you know, how is Tremaine magical herself, or is it passed down? Because she doesn't want anything to do with magic.
Yeah,
and she's already stated it.
Yeah, Tremaine never had magic.
Yeah, and so
even
her
though
doctor, which is
except for that time in Cinderella 3 where she stole the fairy godmother's wand, and then she turned back time and changed
I was
all the
gonna say
events.
though,
It's one,
because
though.
she's Rapunzel as well. Like, didn't she have magical hair?
No, that was because of the curse.
I feel like Gothel's magic skipped a generation. I think that's what happened because Gothel is her mother, right?
I don't know.
No. Gothel is Alice's mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now that's another sticky wicket we're going to get into this season, hopefully.
Yeah.
I am so confused.
Yeah, so we don't know, how did the two girls get magical powers, and did Tremaine know? Obviously she knew because she kept it from them.
Yeah.
She never let them explore it, and never let them hone it, and never let them, you know. So right now it's all wild. It's like weeds, you know. It's just like, it's going crazy because it's never been contained. It's never been taught. It's never been.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
we don't know who the father was either. The father could have been magical.
No.
So it may not have skipped a generation. The father could have been the one with the magic.
No, we did know the father. He married Ella's mom.
Yeah.
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 He was magical.
Marcus. Marcus, I think, was his name.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched the rest of the season.
Yeah,
so
no, we know who the father is, but I don't know. We don't know where she got it from, where they got it from. Maybe they'll go into it, how they came about. Because we know it kind of does go into a bloodline. It is in a bloodline.
Well, we know that the characters in the Enchanted Forest all have potential to be magical.
But they clearly didn't train for this.
They didn't train. I mean, Drusilla got training a little bit.
Well, what about the magic rune that they used to trap Drizella this episode? That was blood magic from Rapunzel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just her blood. They used her blood. And
the magic catalyst was Regina, whereas
Regina used the incantation, and they used Rapunzel's blood.
Yeah.
So that was blood magic.
Yeah. I don't know. But
It's that
I just
weird
love
Harry Potter wizard logic.
Yeah. I just love that she passed the test, and she sent all the daggers flying at the cabinet that had the actual dagger in it. And she goes, I think it's in there. I was just like...
Yeah, Anastasia's super cute. I love her.
Yeah, see, it's not the Anastasia that I wanted, not the one that I wanted, but I can take her.
No, but she's confused. She's very, she's very shy. She doesn't know what the hell's going on.
She's still a young, naive child at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's very innocent. Like, what? She's still 14, right?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
And she probably doesn't know what the fuck's going on because she has all this power. She probably can feel the power inside her.
Freak out and throw everybody. She threw Rumpel at the ceiling. She threw her mother through the wall. Mm-hmm. She threw
Awful across the room.
Gothel down the hallway, and then
she might feel the power in her, and she just doesn't know what to do with it, and she's freaking out, and everyone wants something from her, but no one's willing to teach her how to use it.
Yeah.
No one's taking it slow for her. It's like, hello, she just woke up.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing she was doing, she's sitting in the hospital bed eating Jell-O or something, watching cartoons.
Yeah.
That's not how you act. I mean, I've seen it done in other series recently. That's not how you get a kid to acclimate to the times. Just, it's like, I'll throw my 3-year-old in front of the TV and I'll walk away and go drink a glass of wine. That's exactly the kind of situation going on.
I love that she doesn't trust anyone, but, she runs into her sister and trusts her sister, and her sister's like, oh, I have these magic dampening Elsa glove cuffs.
I mean, she has no reason to not trust her sister. Her sister was her sister. When she knew her sister wasn't this way.
Yeah. Mm-mm. And then we find out that, Gisela wants to actually steal her magic, not dampen the magic. And then we find out, after the triple blindside, that Gothel made it so Anastasia stole her magic instead of the other way around. And then it looks like Gothel's going to take Anastasia under her wing. Mm-hmm. And I just love when Gisela gets pushed down the well, and her and Rapunzel, they're down there together, and she's just like, don't even look at me.
Yep. Well, I mean... it's kind of a smart move on Mother Gothel's part to take her Anastasia, because Anastasia's young, malleable, can be trained, and can be molded into whatever she wants. Even though Gisela is evil and wanted all the shit, what Mother Gothel wants is someone that does her bidding, not the other way around. Not someone that has their own vision of what they want to do, not their own vision of what they want to have happen. Like Gisela did. She wanted, her mom to pay. She wanted revenge. She wanted all this other kind of crap. Mm-hmm. Anastasia doesn't want any of that.
Anastasia doesn't know what she wants. She doesn't know if she wants to be a veterinarian or she wants to be a mechanical engineer. She don't know this shit.
She doesn't know anything right now. She's been out of the hospital bed for maybe a week, if that, and yeah. Mm-hmm. So. You're taking advantage of this poor little girl.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time
a
character's done that.
Nope. Not at all.
Yep. You guys have anything else for this episode?
I mean, we mentioned that Regina cast the curse, and the reason why she cast it is because she needed to preserve Henry, because Land Without Magic would save him from the poison, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to jump back to when we were in Neverland and there was the
nightshade or whatever.
The nightshade would have that wasn't going to work if they brought Charming back to A Land Without Magic, right? Because there was magic back in Storybrooke.
Mm-hmm.
So would have it acted the same way? Like if there was no magic in Storybrooke, would have the Nightshade been stopped?
Well, the reason why the Nightshade, because the Nightshade was killing Rumpel when he was in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So it still works in the real world. It's still a poison in the real world.
So
the reason why it worked for Rumpel is when Rumpel went back to Storybrooke that had magic, he was Rumpelstiltskin again.
Yes.
So he was immortal because he had his powers. So it didn't matter. Crossing realms wouldn't have mattered. The only way the Nightshade still would work.
I'm just trying to go through poisons we've had in the past and see what we can eliminate.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nightshade's off the table. It's not going to be the Agrabah Viper because we've seen that so many fucking times, and that's not how the Agrabah Viper venom works. Is how Henry is. So is it something new?
It has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a blood poison, like a blood magic kind of poison that whoever has his blood can't take it out. So that means Regina can't take it out. That means Zelena can't take it out.
So
it seems like based off the title of the next episode, though, that it could very well come from this. And the next episode is called The Secret Garden. So
Garden
makes me instantly think of all kinds of poisons that could be made.
Definitely.
Eager to harness her magical skills, Robin engages in a risky relationship with Mother Gothel. Meanwhile, in Hyperion Heights, Ronnie and Kelly strike a deal with Eloise, despite desperate to save Lucy from her mysterious illness, but nothing comes without a price. All things finally come to a head when Victoria and Ivy, come to a head between Victoria and Ivy. Someone may have to pay with their life. And then it says down at the bottom, guest starring in this episode, Susie Joachim as Madame Leota.
Nice.
So,
okay.
We also have Dr. Sage is going to be in this.
Who's that?
I'm not sure.
Never heard of that.
Is that their replacement for our Frankenstein?
Possibly. It might
I'm
be the
missing
Hyperion
David
Heights
Anders.
doctor. Yeah.
Let me see, Dr. Sage. Once upon a time. I'm just gonna look this up real quick.
Sounds lame.
I'm glad we're getting Robin. I wonder who she is in this timeline.
Dr. Sage is a lady.
Yep.
She's human,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Okay.
Dr. Sage is just the doctor that works in Hyperion Heights. We saw her in this episode,
Okay.
briefly. So, I mean, maybe she has a background, but I'm not seeing
So
much
far,
of that.
yeah, we don't have it. We don't have it. If she has a background, we don't know it.
Right. She
So.
could be one of the eight witches for all we know.
She could be.
That'd be crazy. Maybe she's Madame Mim.
Yeah. She could be cursed. So.
I want Madame Mim so bad.
We all do.
Yeah.
Might be a little late for that.
Might be, but I don't know. With these 8 mysterious witches, and then they're bringing in Madame Leota, you know, it would if I asked you, Jake, you know, before giving you this evidence, is it too late to introduce the Haunted Mansion? You would have been like, yeah, it's probably too late to do that, you know. So we don't know. Madame Mim could be totally one of these 8 witches. Cause
I just think with if you're introducing Madame Leota, that's like really obscure. I love it, don't get me wrong, but that is obscure, and like you fucking had the chance with Madame Mim, you didn't do it, so like don't even try. Just don't with me. Don't you play with me once upon a time.
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
I don't know.
But
I'm looking forward
Madame
to the
Leota
rest
is
of this.
described as one of the worst witches of her time.
Now,
So-
does that mean she's terrible at her job? Because
She's terrible at her job.
the woman got her head chopped off. So
I mean,
Or
that's
is it-
in the Disney lore. I don't think she's a floating head here.
I want a ball rolling on the streets of Hyperion Heights with a head in it.
What, kind of like a hamster ball?
No,
What?
kind of like that one
No.
character with in Mystery Men where her dad's skull was in the bowling ball. That's what she uses to.
Yeah,
That's
and then
pretty
under her casting announcement, it has her listed as described her as a powerful gatekeeper to a haunted house. So,
Okay.
I hope the house gets tied in some capacity.
It just
Owned by a
materializes
man.
somewhere.
Yeah, owned by a man named Gracie, and he's dead, and he's hanging from the rafters.
That's dark.
I'm looking
That's-
forward to the
that's
next.
the
I'm
attraction
looking
for you.
forward to it.
I know.
So,
Yeah,
should be
looking
good.
forward to the next episode. So
Grim Grin Ghosts.
All right,
Sounds
come
good.
out to socialize. Until next time, Jake, where can people find you?
Find me and all of my giggles and corn, monsters and mayhem on Twitter, tweeting me .tweet.thelife at ToNoRland. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Noorland Society.
As long as I heard that.
I missed it. Nikki, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Rachel, where can the people find you?
I mean, Twitter, VikingWitch76, and on Twitch at VikingWitch.
Find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace. And right here on both YouTube and Twitch at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next time. I'm gonna go come out to socialize.
You better get the hitchhiking ghosts.
Don't close your eyes and don't try to hide.